On this episode of Travelogue, we make our way to the port town of Quanzhou for its fabulous Lantern Festival. We find traces of its Silk Road past, enter a fascinating world of lanterns and puppets, and get our hands dirty making delicious treats. We journey back in time with southern music and lose ourselves in the lights and sounds of the delightful Lantern Festival.
I bet you have no idea where we are right now, but this sea made this place the starting point of the maritime Silk Road, a place that Marco Polo once called the busiest port in the world. And the iconic twin pagodas behind me have paid witness to more than 1,300 years of history. Yes, we're in Quanzhou, and over the next 2 days, we'll check out its famous Lantern Festival. I'm Taran, and welcome to Travelogue.
Quanzhou is on China's southeast coast in Fujian province. It's right across the strait from Taiwan. The weather here is pleasant and it's an easy city to reach by plane or train. Quanzhou is a melting pot of cultures, and UNESCO has called it a World Museum of Religion. With the Lantern Festival in full swing, you really see its seafaring roots as locals flock to Tianpo-gong to pray to sea goddess Mazu for an auspicious new year. But first things first, time to find my hostel, which is in the old living quarters.
Ah, over there. This is my guest house, and if you look around, they've got this kind of atrium. It's quite common in southern China to get this kind of thing because it lets the rain in, which for Chinese people means wealth. And I think to live in a place like this, it's really authentic and a great way to get a taste of this city. Oh wow, nice. So this is where I'm staying, and got a pretty nice view of the town over there, and this one should be my room, I think. Yeah, this should be it. Alright, so this is my room. It's pretty simple, but I guess this is how people used to live back in the old days. I've got my double bed here. I've got what I assume is a colour television, so you know, I'm pretty happy. This place set me back about 110 RMB, but if you do want something cheaper, there are single beds downstairs that go for around 40 RMB per person. And let's check out what else is in this. I've got this door here. What do you reckon it is? I reckon it's a wardrobe. Let's give it a look. It's a squatting toilet, my favourite type.
Right, time to explore. I'm going to make my way to Licheng district, which is the old part of town. Most of the must-see sites are there, and everything is easy to reach on foot. Zhongshan Road is its cultural epicentre, and it's just a 5-minute stroll from where I'm staying. Once you're at this clock tower, you've arrived.
So, I don't know if you noticed something different about the street here, but they're all lined with these buildings called qilo that you'll find them there and here as well, that have these overhanging stories that quite thoughtfully protect pedestrians from the rain. And they're a bit of a relic from the past and have received a UNESCO award for heritage preservation.
Apparently influenced by Greek architecture, qilo buildings are known as arcade houses and are a great fusion of Eastern and Western styles. The ground floor also acts as an inviting storefront. During the Song dynasty, thousands of imperial family members settled in Quanzhou, and they brought with them the custom of hanging exquisite lanterns in front of every house. These ornate lanterns used to be owned exclusively by noblemen, but nowadays any commoner can take their pick of the litter.
Alright, so we've got all manners of different lanterns here. We've got this most traditional type
this one, I guess they used this back in the old days, and then we've got the little plasticky ones for the kids at home. I think this will go down quite well with children. And the more modern type 是怎么卖的？
这种叫培养人三口，它这个做的比较简单，就只要那个纸糊一下就好了。但是那个就是它连那个它那个全部支架都是竹篾，要8
手工做的。What do you reckon this is? It's even got wheels as well. I think this looks pretty cool. This is a rabbit, I think, but I don't know, it looks like some kind of monster as well. But even though it's like, what, 18, 90 RMB, I think it's definitely worth it to get one of these traditional kind of lanterns. This will be my best bet, I reckon. Ooh, shit. I just broke that lantern. I have absolutely no idea what they're doing, but it looks like some kind of festival. Hey, 你们去看什么的呀? Follow them anyway. I have no idea what they're doing, and it's bursting my eardrums, but this is pretty cool. This is some kind of, I guess, spring festival festivity, and they're here to, I think I was told earlier, they're here to pay their respects to Guandi, yeah, or something like that, but let's go and see! Yep, looks like Guandi. He was a famous general who became deified and is now worshipped as a god of protection. I was told a family invited him here for its blessings, and he's one of many gods who are called upon during the Lantern Festival to provide blessings for the new year. Everyone in the neighbourhood seems to have turned up to pay their respects, and it's quite interesting. I've never seen something like this before, and I do kind of wish I had some incense as well. Temples devoted to Guandi are everywhere in China. It's believed he's good at granting his wishes, which is probably the reason why Quanzhou's Guandi Temple is the most popular of the lot. If you want to check it out yourself, you can find this temple on Tumen Road, a 15-minute walk from Zhongshan Road. Everyone's here to buy the shop's famous yuanxiao. It comes from the Chinese name for the Lantern Festival, Yuanxiaojie, which literally means night of the first lunar month. The round shape is a symbol of reunion, and if you fancy a taste yourself, a bowl of yuanxiao costs 5.5 kuai, and a box will set you back 10. Good job. It's really nice. A lot better than the frozen ones I've had in Beijing and back in London as well. There's no wonder why, actually, that this shop is the most famous here in Quanzhou. Yuanxiao are typically made with sesame and peanuts, but the shop owner says he also adds a secret ingredient, which, of course, he wouldn't tell me. Making yuanxiao is actually pretty straightforward. Dunk the balls in water, roll them around in flour, and then you repeat that about 7 or 8 times and you have the finished product. Easy as pie. 现在能让我试一试吗？可以。They have to change everything just because I'm left-handed. 都放进去哈。好。6点钟起床就开始。这天您会非常累啊。不会。啊，掉了。的鞋底还是要。但是还赶快。不然会粘在一起。啊，我估计这些这个汤圆您卖不了了，我吃吧。It's getting bigger and bigger. All right, my very special batch, made specially by Tiran. It's my second day here, and I'm off to Xunpu village. It's a small fishing village on the outskirts of Quanzhou, and about a 20 kuai taxi ride from town. It's exciting to think it used to be on the maritime Silk Road, and to this day, ships still leave from its port. Local traditions are well preserved in Xuanpu, and I want to see if people here celebrate the Lantern Festival differently from what we've seen in Quanzhou. But I should warn you of one thing. The residents here use the Minnan dialect, and many can't speak Mandarin, so it's a good idea to bring a guide to show you around and act as translator.
What do you reckon these are? They're not rocks, they're not slate either, they're actually oyster shells, and they've been used for 700-800 years to make the buildings here.
Apparently, these shells are from Africa. In the days of the maritime Silk Road, ships that had emptied their cargo holds would use oysters as ballast to prevent them from capsizing on their way back.
Let me show you something really cool. I thought these were just for decoration, but the oyster shells are actually used as building material here.
Aside from its houses, Xuanpu is also known for its women. They might not be extraordinarily beautiful, but they're hardworking, charismatic, and great at raising oysters. Apparently, they're also great businesswomen. But what caught my eye was the wreath of bright flowers that everyone seemed to be wearing.
你这个就是专门为了元宵节戴的吗？
不是，
不是，
就是咱有时哦。
She's speaking the Minnan dialect, which I have no idea what she's saying. I need to get my tour guide to translate. 你帮我问一下。
咱就是像讲话话一般，计是伫咧正月的时阵还是上元有大，比方洗碗酱就较简单的，可以有大就是。他们其实平时也有带花的这习惯，在不同的时间，比如说像节日或者家里面有刚好碰到有什么喜事的时候，他们也同样就会带上这花，但是会带得更隆重一些。
哦，
对，像
它这些花是鲜的吗？还是
鲜的呀，鲜的呀。
啊，都是鲜的。这个听得懂。好，谢谢啊。
Further down the street, I bump into a group of lively ladies preparing a small banquet. My guide tells me they've come from different parts of the village to celebrate the Lantern Festival, and some of the food here will be offered to their deity. The festival itself is on the last day of the Chinese New Year celebrations. For many people, it's a time to make a fresh start.
你们这个是什么东西？ Smells amazing.
The oysters used here are raised locally, and they're a must-eat dish during the Lantern Festival celebration.
这个海蛎一般是怎么卖？多少钱？
这个海蛎一般啊，就是在这巡捕附近的这个海蛎是比较好的海蛎，它刚好是在淡水和咸交接的这个。
它这个一般是什么季节才吃？
我们有一句话叫“鬼而补足”，它就水海蛎、水韭菜，它这个通常是在咱们每一年的春季。差不多是在2月份、3月份。
知道。We're very lucky. We're very lucky today because we ran into these guys sitting outside having dinner, having lunch even, and she told me earlier that she's nearly 100 years old, a centenarian. 年多大了？ She's 96 years old. 是因为吃这个海蛎吃的吧？
Even though I couldn't understand most of them, I found these charming little ladies incredibly warm-hearted.
Perhaps if I eat enough of this oyster, I can live to be as young as she is, 是吧？
Having eaten my year's worth of oysters, we make our way to Jinxiuzhuang for a lesson on local art.
记得刚才的方法吗？
你把这种连上去。
您做这个很多年了吗？
我16岁的时候学的，开始学做花灯，到现在有16年了。
已经有16年了。这种灯笼一般需要多久那个能做完？
一盏这样的花灯要1个多礼拜一个人。最复杂的灯笼也就是我们泉州的这个五谷紫克灯。
我看像这些上面也是您做的。
对，这一个人2个多礼拜才能做完一盏这样的灯。如果加上设计时间，那就更不值得。
好，谢谢啊。
Seeing how everyone's having a lot of fun with lanterns, I want to give it a try myself as well. But as you can see, I'm sat with all of the kids, which gives you a good indication of my skill level. I don't think I've done this kind of thing since around her age. 小朋友，你多大了？6岁。Since I was 6 years old. But you know, I'm young at heart. There's always a chance to go and relive my childhood. Alright, after however many hours it took me, I finally made my own lantern, and it's pretty good if I don't say so myself. But there we go, I finally completed my task for today. If lanterns aren't your thing, why not head upstairs for a puppet show? This performance is about the story of a young monk caught in a storm as he descends a mountain. Chinese puppetry is at least 2,000 years old, and Quanzhou is a major player on the global puppet scene. These marionettes can have anything up to 30 strings that control the puppet's head, arms, and even his hat. It's pretty incredible, especially when you consider European puppets use at most about a dozen strings. It's not your average Punch and Judy show. That said, the most important part of the puppet is its head, and I'm going to see a master who's been crafting them for more than 20 years. 这个都是用什么？樟木做的。So this is pretty intricate. It's very cool, and there's actually a button inside that, if you press on it, it moves the mouth and the eyelids, and it's actually even got a tongue inside as well. 就是这种木偶一般需要多久才能做完呢？像这个要做到现在要半个月。雕这个是不是也得上色？主要上洗几片黄纸，用那个让竹片慢慢剪成。现在年轻人也喜欢这种东西吗？年轻人他都不想做这个手工艺。This is pretty cool. Hello, I'm a puppet. And I have Turan's fingers up my head. This is really pretty cool, and I think I'm going to go and try and get one for myself as well. They have puppets here for all kinds of people. This one runs at 68 RMB, but I have my eyes on the more expensive range. This one's pretty cool. It's close to 1,000 RMB, but I think this one is my favourite. And crap. Let's just pretend we didn't see that. There we go. And with any luck, it should move as well. I'll just put my hand in the there we go. I think this is my favourite, so I'm going to buy this one. Finally, it's the night of the Lantern Festival, and everyone's come to see the performances. The music being played is called Nanyin, meaning southern music. It's a traditional opera style that dates back almost 2,000 years, one of the oldest genres in China. As with lanterns, Nanyin used to be just played for the royal court. but it later spread to and became popular around southern China. It's pretty impressive to still find it in Quanzhou, considering this ancient form of music no longer exists in the north. Just goes to show how popular it is with the locals. I asked around, and most of the audience here are regulars. Don't let that scare you off, as tourists are more than welcome to join in. Best of all, this place is free and has daily performances after 7:30 p.m.
哎呦，我可以问一个隐私的问题吗？我看你很年轻，你今年多大了？
你要虚的还是实的？
啊，是实的。24。很年轻，跟我差不多一样。那你我觉得年轻一般会喜欢就是更现代的音乐。
现在的音乐我也很喜欢，但是我是觉得我没有理由不喜欢男音的原因，是因为我11岁就开始弄这个专业。
这个是你的工作吗？还是？
不是，我是学校刚刚毕业，然后在这里兼职。其他人也一样，有的是在学校读书，有的是白天有其他工作，晚上在这边兼职，因为喜欢这个。
那这等于都是你们的爱好是吧？
算是大家的爱好。
你们一般有什么乐谱需要看或什么东西吗？
我们用的是男音的专用谱，叫做公车谱。我刚才说的那个车是这个。对，这是男音的专用谱。我要上台了。
哎，好，谢谢了啊，谢谢。哎，对。
Right, so the Lantern Festival is in full swing. The festival itself has actually been around for almost 2 millennia, but no one's really sure how it got started. Some say it's for worshipping a god of heaven, and others say it's got to do with Taoism. There's even a story about a pet goose in there somewhere. Regardless, the festival's always been a time for celebration and reunion, and it's even been used as a kind of ancient Chinese Valentine's Day. However, 2,000 years down the line, and its purpose still hasn't changed. The only thing that has is the variety of lanterns has probably grown. I found out much later that only kids carry lanterns during the festival, which probably explains the strange looks I kept getting.
小朋友，这你自己做的啊？
我爷爷陪我做的。他把这个剪4个方，再用那个糖果带来贴上去。
这个你们年年都是自己做这些灯笼？
对，我们都年年自己做。
年年自己做，你们好好玩吧。
Well, how's that for resourcefulness? At the last day of the Spring Festival celebrations, there are more than just lanterns here. You can enjoy the dragon dance and street performances, solve riddles on lanterns, or just take in the excitement around you. Quanzhou's Lantern Festival is a great place to come with your family or friends, and I think it's a great way to send off the old year and see in the new one.
哎，你好，你们是从哪来的呀？
从金门来的。
金门
是
在台湾的。
对。
哦，你们就是专门来看这个灯笼吗？
是啊。
哦，你们觉得怎么样？
很棒啊，太好玩了。
你们大家呢？我别只问你们，你们觉得怎么样？
好玩。
跟你们台湾一样吗？还是有点区别？
台湾没有这种。这里气氛比较浓。
我们就是为了感受元宵的气氛，所以特别到这里来。
再见。
谢谢。
And as the night goes on, things can only get better.
We've just run into this taijie, which literally means stepping on the street, but it's actually kind of a street carnival, and it's a way for everyone to celebrate the Lantern Festival. And I'm going to join in on the festivities. I feel like one of the ladies now. I think they're making a fool out of me, but you know, it's good fun. 接着转是吧？ So this is pretty awesome. I can't say I've ever been the head of a festival, let alone a lantern festival, but man, the people here in Quanzhou really know how to celebrate in style. So,
Even though Quanzhou has moved with the times, it's still fiercely proud of its traditions. With its lively parades and enthusiastic performers, you can feel there's a real sense of celebration and togetherness in the air. And this is what the Lantern Festival is really all about. You know, over the last 2 days, I've really been touched by just how much heart the locals put into their Lantern Festival, but more importantly that it's a genuine time for them to spend time with their family. And wherever you are, I hope that you've also been inspired to treasure yours as well. I'm Taran, and I'll see you on another episode of Travelogue.